Hello and welcome everyone to the BSL Non-Korean Championship. I'm Machine, and joining me today, my good buddy co-caster here is Ozzy Daki. Ozzy, what's up, man? How you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. Looking forward to a lot of these games here. I'm excited to see some of the Chinese players playing against our top BSL players this season and kind of seeing how they can put up a fight against them.
Yeah, I mean, in the past, anytime these top, starting to become like big household names in the StarCraft community, Chinese
Hmm.
competitors have touched base with a lot of the top non-Koreans. It typically has been going China's way, man. Like you got to
Yeah.
say, there's a lot of recognizable names here. We got Mihu, we got Zhanhun, we got. I'm gonna let you pronounce this one. Who's Bonith facing off here against?
So it's going to be not QiaoGege, but something more like QiaoGege.
Which yeah, I've just learned, and I've realized I've probably commentated QiaoGege plenty of times and always made that mistake. So yeah, I'll try to fix that one here.
Yeah,
But yeah, man,
I'm sure we'll both mess it up.
this is basically the who's who of the non-Korean scene at the moment. And yeah, we have quite a few matches today for you folks. And kicking off with a big cornerstone here, it's going to be Big Bad Bonith facing off against QiaoGege. How do you think this one's going to go, Ozzy?
Well, I don't know much about a lot of these Chinese players personally. Like, of course, I know Zhanhun and Mihu, but I don't really know the rest of them very well. I've actually never seen QiaoGege play before, so it'll be pretty cool to see our BSL champion facing off immediately with a PvP after him taking those games off of Bonnet or Dewalt.
Oh, for sure. You can never really count out Bonith in particularly PvP, man. Like
Hmm.
that Reaver control is truly something else that he showcases time and time again. But I can say QiaoGege is not without his own bag of tricks. Hyper aggressive Protoss, from what I believe, or what I've seen in the past from him, is a player that will do something like a proxy
Hmm.
double 9 gate into two more proxied gateways at like the opponent's third. Like he is very like pedal to the metal, hyper aggro PvP, which can be something that's jarring to deal with here. So yeah, I'm kind of excited to see how this one ends up playing out.
Yeah, for sure. It's cool because the Chinese players, like you definitely region to region, there's a completely different meta, right? So yeah, definitely they bring a different style for a lot of the players to deal with.
For sure, for sure. But yeah, it sounds like both our first two players are ready to go, folks. So let's go ahead and jump into game one, Bonith versus QiaoGege. Ooh. Alrighty here. Spawning at the bottom right side as the orange Protoss, the one, the only, Bonith.
And his opponent spawning in the top left corner, the opposite side here on Radeon, we have QiaoGege. So how do you feel about Carl Spawns? You said he's kind of a crazy aggressive player. Do you think he proxies from here, or do you think this kind of affects how he's going to play some?
I mean, if he obviously had map hacks and knew this is not the most optimal place to
Mm.
proxy gate or something like that. So let's hope he doesn't do it. And fortunately, we are seeing the pylon gateway in the main. But I'm telling you, I do recall this guy getting very aggro. So if it comes down to a 1-0 situation, a 1-1 situation, I think he's got a good likelihood still of throwing it out here. But yeah, both players starting off pretty standard here. We have the assimilator in the main here for Bonith, no surprise there. But yeah, it looks like already QiaoGege with oh no, he did go assimilator. It seemed a little delayed to me.
Yeah, a lot of Protosses go for a 12 gas. Bonnet, I've noticed, though. I noticed this last series, and I never really mentioned it. He tends to go for that 11 gas. It's just slightly faster gas. It's like slightly less mineral income, slightly faster gas. It's not really that big of a deal one way or the other, I think. But yeah, I was definitely eyeing it too, because you got me like on edge now. I'm waiting for QiaoGege to do something very weird to start us off.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, fortunately for QiaoGege, he's going to get the faster scout here and knows it is cross spawn. But, you know, not really anything out of the usual here for Bonith. Sees that core spinning, or sees the core building, harassing some of the probes on gas here. But he's got to be feeling pretty good that, you know, he's at least seen what Bonith's up to and nothing's out of the ordinary here.
Yeah, Bonith's gonna get up here before the Zeli gets to the ramp, so that's gonna be nice for him too. Gonna be able to get in here and confirm there's nothing crazy going on just yet. And gonna be able to keep this probe in here for a little while. Both players will. They'll keep an eye on, you know, are we starting that? Are we gonna start spinning the core? Are we making additional pylons? Like, just keep an eye on making sure that everything's nice and normal here.
Yeah, we see the spinning core here for Bonith. You know, nothing out of the ordinary until he's able to clear that probe. You know, you might see a cancel and then a faster robo, but you know, he could as well just go straight for range here. The range just doesn't do much for you, you know, this early on a big cross map situation. I'm sure, you know, seeing what each other are doing, both players would prefer to have a faster robo, but it's not the biggest deal.
Yeah, it can be like a little bit of an optimization, of course, right? Getting that robo before range, especially like you said, cross spawns here on Radeon. You're not in danger of anything. I mean, the only reason you'd really want range at that point is if you're getting like proxy 3-gated or something, right? If they had like 2 gateways and they're proxying. But otherwise, I think you're completely fine skipping it if you wanted to. But yeah, both players just playing safe, and it looks like we might just get a nice standard first game here, which I can't help but feel probably favors Bonith from what I've seen from him.
Yeah, the guy is just a monster PvP. I mean, he's truly optimized the game out. As you said, being able to take, you know, games off of Dewalt, who a lot of folks would argue best of the best, you know, outside Korea at the moment, just shows you, you know, what a masterclass his PvP is, and in particular the Reaver, right? Like he just has highlight reels after highlight reels against the best foreigners, like every single series. So I'm real excited to see what Bonith pulls out here.
Yeah, this is going into a game state that Bonith will definitely be happy with. I'm gonna see the Reaver coming down the observatory, so just everything nice and normal so far from both players. Neither player going to be able to get aggressive because of the cross-spawn Radeon, right? It's such a long travel distance. There's just no real way you're walking across the map to put any pressure on anybody. And plus, because they're both doing these kind of standard safe builds. So we're seeing a little bit of a deviation now. We're going to see QiaoGege going for the expansion much quicker, which means we delayed our Reaver by quite a bit. So there's going to be potentially an opening for Bonith to get some harass damage done with his Reaver.
Which, you know, it's Bonith. He's always looking for it. Still, I think if you know, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on if you had to say one build or the other is at an advantage here, which would you say?
I would favor QiaoGege right now because of the distance, and he's not really that far behind on Reaver even. I thought maybe Bonith was going to go for the Reaver and stuff before the Nexus, but because he didn't, he's not really going to have any potential pressure here after all. So the faster Nexus, of course, going to favor our Chinese player, but he is cutting a few probes to get this done, so he's going to be like maybe slightly ahead, but if Bonith is good on worker production, it'll pretty much even out actually by the time this Nexus is done.
Isn't that funny how that works out? I mean, I definitely share your sentiments, but you would think like such a faster Nexus, you know, would end up paying off dividends, but it really doesn't. And you kind of like have to respect that, you know, Bonith never ever really cuts any corners PvP. Like he's not the Protoss who ever throws out something like a 14x or something silly, right? Like he is very confident in his play, and he will just outplay you. He'll just outplay you every single time. It's crazy.
Yeah, players like that are so hard to play against, where it's like you know what they're going to do, and you can't do anything to like exploit them for, right? These are the hardest players to play against. A lot of players, it's like, oh, you know, they're going to play standard, so you can cut some corners here and there. But with Bonith, it's like, you know, he's going to play standard, you know, gateway, robo, Reaver, and it's like, well, what are you going to do knowing that, right? Like, we saw a couple games with Dewalt, he did like gate expand, but then Bonith was able to adapt to that as well. So there's like some things you can kind of do, but Bonith is just so rock solid. It's so hard to take advantage of it.
Yeah, it really is. I remember thinking back to, I think it was the previous BSL season, where Dewalt and Bonith faced off, and Dewalt got away with a 12 Nexus PvP on Radeon, and Bonith just did nothing special and managed to basically come back through pure control. Like, it was crazy. I thought we were looking at just like a dead game. It was like, oh, okay, this is going to be about 5 more minutes until, you know, this economy starts really running away for Dewalt. And he just finds a way.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. And we're actually seeing a little bit of the kind of stronger mechanics from Bonith kicking, and he's got that slight worker advantage. We see a very slight supply lead. It's nothing major, but I mean, we have QiaoGege coming across the map and looking to posture aggressively, which the slight lead that Bonith has can actually snowball very, very heavily with the defender's advantage as well if QiaoGege is not very careful here.
Absolutely. I think the only advantage is maybe that QiaoGege has the second Reaver here, but other than that, yeah, Bonith's force looks, pretty sizable. Well,
yeah, I didn't realize we only had a single Reaver. Yeah, nice spot there from Bonith. Going to be able to see that coming and be able to react quickly. So this is very dangerous flying in with this Reaver, especially blind like this. Shuttle speed does finish. Going to take a few shots on this shuttle, which actually is a big deal because that shuttle getting softened up makes the engage much, much harder for QiaoGege to keep the shuttle and Reaver alive.
Absolutely. It's a risk now. You got to keep that shuttle at the very back. It's not going to be dive bombing. But here we go. First big engagement of the set. Both Reavers unload here for QiaoGege. Bonith's got 2 of his own. Doesn't really look like, QiaoGege wants to press the action quite yet.
Yeah, he's just going to posture out of here and kind of contain, and I actually like this call from him. He has continued worker production, taking a pretty sizable worker lead now. It's not really that big of a deal at this point. Once you start getting, past like 40 or so, you're not really getting a whole lot more efficient mining. Nice move forward there to pick off that observer. Very good.
Ooh, yeah. That's a pretty big deal. I mean, vision PvP is very key, especially when you're microing these Reavers and shuttles, so... Bonith, maybe on the back foot for the moment.
Yeah, he's we're gonna have to see him work maybe a little bit of magic to get out of this position. Gonna have to fight through this choke potentially, but you kind of see it on the map, kind of what I was talking about. You see all these forces here, right, from QiaoGege back at his base right now. So there is, like I said, there's this little bit of defender's advantage where there's a chance that Bonith could swallow this up and get a very efficient trade. We're actually gonna fly into the main with this.
Ooh, yeah, that's exactly what Bonith looks like he's going for. But, I mean, yeah, this speed shuttle diving into the main is going to force a massive probe pull. Still, great timing from Bonith to move the majority of those probes. And Bonith actually just going to counter now? Wow, this got wild quick.
Yeah, he actually missed this army sneaking around the right side, so he had no idea. But he did pick off the shuttle, I think, with those... Yeah, so the shuttle with the Reavers got picked off, so... QiaoGege's lost those 2 Reavers. He's just got these goons counterattacking at home. So Bonith's going to look for a lot of damage here. Going to unload and get some pretty big shots here. And he might be breaking this position.
Yeah, he really targeted those Scarabs well. Taking out the final shuttle as well. Yeah, it looks like this crazy base race scenario. Bonith looks like he's good chance of losing his own Nexus. But I don't think there's any way QiaoGege is stopping this force.
Yeah, he's trading way too well here, and it looks like GG is called. Bonith going to take this first game and start us off with a 1-0 lead here. But yeah, a little bit crazy. Losing those 2 Reavers in the shuttle like that, definitely a pretty huge deal. It definitely made it where our army has pretty much no chance of breaking Bonith while we're getting broken home, and yeah, it's just not playable from their form anymore.
No, for sure. I mean, even hiding the force off to the right side at Bonith's third, I thought for some reason that was going to pay a little more dividends, but no, man, Bonith just decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and charge across the map, and good luck stopping this. It absolutely worked out for him. So, yeah. 1-0 Bonith from here. We'll see what QiaoGege has to do to try to mount some kind of a comeback here in this best-of-3 situation.
Agartha1337 is sub-a-ghosting
for
6
sure.
months.
Bonith definitely showing us, once again, he has that killer instinct. That being said, I think we're going to go ahead and hop into the second game. It's on Polestar, I believe. Okay, so yeah, it's going to be on Polestar for game 2 here between Bonith and QiaoGege.
All right. right, let's jump into the match. Okay, spawning top right side as the Magenta Protoss from China, currently down 0-1. It is QiaoGege.
And his opponent starting off with a 1-0 lead here. We have the reigning BSL champion, Bonith.
Well,
All right.
I don't know. I'm, you know, like I said, I do have this feeling that QiaoGege is gonna get hyper aggro, but it doesn't seem to be happening. We don't see the early probe moving out, so it could just be another standard, you know, build out of him here.
Yeah, at least no crazy proxies to start us off, right? We'll see if he wants to mix anything up and be a little bit weird. He might not be feeling too great right after losing kind of a mirror build so easily this first game here. And I don't know, Bonith's crazy, man. This call to just go straight across the map, that's never where my brain would have been at in that situation. I would have felt like I would want to come back and crush the army, but he just decides he's going to go for the base trade. And yeah, that's scary when a man is so confident that he's going to be able to kill you instead like that.
Yeah, like you said, just being able to pull the trigger and just move across the map like that. Not a lot of folks, you know, with little to nothing truly happening, right? It's not like he really was even at an advantageous situation, right? He didn't pick off Reavers or anything. If anything, he lost his own observer.
Yeah.
But still, like you said, just so confident. You know, he knows he's hit his pylons. He's been hitting his gateway timings. And yeah, he you know, just is very confident in his control too.
Yeah. All right, starting us off for this game, it looks like we're going to be getting mirror builds at least so far. We'll start to see some deviation potentially after the cyber core. If we want to go for like gate expander, just like a normal robo or anything like that. Targeting the early scout from both players, so it does make it hard to do anything a little bit wacky or weird when that probe gets in your base so early.
How do the ramps leading to the main on this map affect PvP? Is 3-gate more possible on this map than, you know, your standard map?
I think it's pretty much the same either way. There's not a whole lot of difference. Yeah, I mean, pushing up through the eggs is kind of a nightmare, but it's... I would say it might even be harder, truthfully, to come up these ramps with the eggs like this. Yeah. So, yeah, I would definitely think we would want to shy away from that, but typically, if you're going 3-gate, you're looking for specific builds to be countering anyway, so I don't know how much the ramp would really affect it in the long run, but yeah.
That's true, especially, I guess, if you're facing off against, you know, Bonith, you know he's just going to have that Robo Reaver sitting at the top of the ramp anyway, so maybe not the build to do.
Yeah, when I think of builds that I'd want to do against Bonith, 3-gate is not one that comes to mind, so one that's like so good at control and them defending the ramp with these fast Reavers, just it sounds like a nightmare. But I mean, there is a little bit of a chance if we did go 3-gate against the 1-gate Robo, there is a chance to force your way up there if you hit your build well, because you'll have like a 2-goon lead before the Reavers are out. So there's always potential for something like that.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, nothing out of the ordinary here from either player. Looks like Bonith putting his Robo down. You know, just another standard 1-gate Robo build, and mirror builds on the opposite side of the map here, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised to see that he wanted to mirror Bonith again, so... Well, we'll see if he can do a little bit better this game. Maybe he just feels like he made some simple mistakes. Maybe he thinks going for this counterattack was what, you know, got him killed. So maybe he thinks he can just clean it up a little bit, play a little bit better, and take it off of Bonith.
It's like Bonith kind of posturing out, scouting out, you know, with a couple Dragoons here. Same thing going on for QiaoGege, just trying to keep an eye on Dragoon count, make sure it's, you know, not something like a faster second gateway, you know, ranged goon timing or 3-gate or something like that.
Yeah, normally you do these little poke outs to be kind of keeping them honest, right? You're keeping an eye on if they're continuing to make goons or not. If you start to notice like a goon cut or if goon range doesn't finish, you know, when it should, that kind of a thing, then some red flags will start going off. But that being said, it's basically an identical build that Bonith did to the first game, and We'll see if QiaoGege wants to mix it up a little bit, if he still wants to go for this fast Nexus or not. He's been a little bit more on top of his pro production this time, instead of cutting a little bit, so they're actually pretty much even on workers. Last game he was down a few workers, and he kind of cut a little bit to get that faster Nexus, and yeah, this time we're going straight for the Robo. Again, it's a little bit later than Bonith. I don't know if we're prioritizing maybe a goon or two extra.
He's
But there's
got
definitely
a second
some...
gateway.
Oh, second gate, that's what it was. Yep.
Yeah, so looks like maybe trying to get a little aggro. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, unfortunately, Bonith looks like he might be going for Crawl Expand, and going 2-gate Reaver into Crawl Expand definitely is going to favor Bonith in the long run. If that's what he ends up going for, it looks like we're not banking money yet, so... He will have that extra money, though, from not making this extra gateway and goons. So I imagine that's going to go into a Nexus.
Yeah, it looks like it. He's got the probe in position there. Like you said, that Robo is just so close to the natural. It's a pretty natural defense there for Bonith. It's like both observers just kind of sharking around in the center of the map here, staying over neutral ground. Both players just being so careful. But yeah, Bonith getting a little more aggro here. It looks like he really wants to pick off that observer. Oh, but it does sneak by. It's gonna see, maybe the natural nexus here. Bonnett's got to watch out. He's walking into a faster Reaver, and obviously the second gateway, more Dragoons. So I should realize he's not gonna be able to get too aggressive here.
Yeah, I thought for a second that QiaoGege was going to go for some sort of aggression, right, with the second gateway and kind of the constant goon pumping, but he is actually going to go for this Nexus, so he just did a much safer build where he's going to have a few more units, a little bit less workers, slightly less Reaver. We're using Reavers to blow up the eggs. I think I'm a little too OCD, but I'm thinking about each of those shots costing 15 minerals, and that, eats at me.
I'm the same way, but I realized it doesn't matter. It's almost better to just safely do it. But yeah, I totally get you. Reaver will kill them fast, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he figures I got this extra Nexus, I can spare 30 to 45 minerals to kill an egg.
I guess so.
Okay, we're gonna load up and start moving out here. This is kind of dangerous
for
if he walks into this before and we get a volley on. Okay. I was a little bit worried about us getting a volley on that shuttle, but he smartly leads with a Zealot pretty far ahead of his army, so he gets to see it coming ahead of time. And Bonnett's just going to pick off the Zealot, back up, take a few shots from the goons here as he gets set up into a defensive position.
Looks like second Reaver is completed just in time for this. Still, though, this is a massive force from QiaoGege.
Is it just one Reaver, though? Yeah, it's just a single Reaver.
It is.
Ooh, gets a full shot on that Reaver, though, so it is a little bit squishy now. One more shot would kill that off. And we see a pretty decent supply lead, mostly pretty much entirely in workers right now for Bonith, so his economy very far ahead of QiaoGege. And I think we've added those extra gateways for Bonith, so his production's about to be really online here soon.
Yeah, absolutely. The one advantage QiaoGege has is definitely the posturing. He's, got a good position here on Bonith. Very nice scarabs. So Bonith's really going to have to, be careful. He can't just walk out up this, ramp in the center here. QiaoGege definitely making Bonith pay for it.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that Bonith saw all that on the high ground and decided he wanted to try to move into that shuttle Reaver. So bleeds off a few goons. Pretty ambitious. I said he had killer instinct. Maybe sometimes it's a little too much killer instinct. He sees blood and he wants it right away.
Yeah, I'm sure it would work against the normal Protoss, but this is QiaoGege, we're dealing with here. So still, I mean, Bonith, despite the goon losses, in a fine position here. Looks like same thing here for QiaoGege, taking the natural assimilator, adding some gateways. Oh, wow, that was a shocker. Bonith loses a Reaver there.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake, the shuttle too far away. I was just about to say one of the advantages we're seeing for Bonith is because he's had the better economy for longer. His gateway explosion was a lot faster and just a few more gateways, but that being said, bleeding out the Reaver definitely pretty painful. We at least have the backup Reaver to replace it right away, so our fighting force isn't really diminished at the moment. But it does mean I think that QiaoGege is going to have more Reavers behind us than Bonith will. And another nice shot. Bonith actually getting out-traded pretty consistently while he tries to find position here.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, really, QiaoGege is just doing a great job mirroring the army and softening this up. Well, Bonith looked like he wanted to counter there for a second.
Yeah, I think he was trying to force either he was trying to force himself up to the high ground, but it makes QiaoGege come down here to start taking a fight. He's getting really good Reaver volleys here. And it looked like a mistake there. I think Bonith killed his own Dragoon.
Uh-oh. Wanted to intimidate the other ones, make them work harder, you know?
Yeah, he's shooting his own goon while looking QiaoGege down the eyes and saying, this could be you.
Oh boy, here we go. Another big Reaver drop here for QiaoGege. Looks like Bonith forced to retreat once again down to the bottom of this ramp. But now Bonith able to bring his own Reavers into the fight. Big scarabs for both players actually going down. Bonith losing his shuttle. And QiaoGege looks like he's taking the fight.
Yeah, he's taking a huge lead here. We're pretty much even on Dragoons. Well, I guess a few more Dragoons come out for Bonith here, but we have the double Reaver versus one Reaver and no shuttle right now. That is a huge difference. This Reaver from Bonith is going to be very exposed. He does have a really high Dragoon count despite kind of taking a bad fight there, but these Reaver shots could be massive.
Big spread from Bonith. I gotta say, he's really doing so much with what he's got here. Does manage to pick off at least one of the Reavers, both Reavers. Man, it was just his positioning there was beautiful to start the fight.
Yeah, it's like you said, that was an amazing Dragoon spread. He was splitting his Dragoons like pro level like Muto players, right? Like he really spread out very nicely to avoid pretty much as much splash damage as possible. Focus Reavers really nicely and actually managed to hold on there. I'll be honest with you, with how the fights were going, QiaoGege was winning the positional fights so well and so consistently that I really thought Bonith was in trouble, but he did. That was just an amazing fight with pure Dragoon.
Yeah, it definitely was. We're seeing another big engagement here in the center. Looks like Bonith somehow pushing QiaoGege back. That's so surprising to me.
It's very surprising. Yeah, I think it's just all these gateways he has online, right? I think he's on like 6 gateway or something. So I think QiaoGege is like caught up on gateways now more or less, but we just had that extra production for so long. But it ended up paying off, and because he got that good fight and kind of stabilized a little bit, he's able to continue playing.
When do we take a third?
We are getting close to third base territory. It's a little bit rare in this matchup, but I think we are heading in that direction. Bonith is going to come across the map and start to threaten a little bit. We just have the one Reaver in the shuttle here. I guess we have no Reavers for QiaoGege at the moment. Okay, we do have a Reaver, and it's immediately going to get pounced on. This could be bad, but we also have a flank here of the goons on the left side.
Yeah, nice.
Immediately going for the shuttle.
Does get the shuttle down, but you know, Bonith was able to kill off that Reaver. There is a follow-up Reaver, though, from QiaoGege. It looks like Bonith just going to kill the Dragoons on the map and then wisely back up. That's kind of the safer trade here. Stay away from that Reaver as much as possible.
Yeah, a really good cutting away from the Reaver, right? If he kept committing towards that Reaver, it could be pretty bad. So traded about as well as you could hope for, as Bonith here still maintaining control on the high ground. Has killed off the observers as well, and QiaoGege hasn't really been able to remake those observers, so he's kind of playing blind because he's just constantly needing to pump the Reaver and shuttles to try and stay alive.
Definitely. It looks like Bonith's moving a probe to mid-right. He may want to take a third base that's going to defend his natural. Or it might actually just be for the scouting pylon. Never mind.
It could be for spotter, yeah. I was gonna say like this is a crazy third to me, but at the same time
I was thinking the same, yeah.
It doesn't feel like there's a good third to take, and yeah, he immediately spots that shuttle coming in too, so perfectly timed. But did he actually okay, there we go. I was gonna say, did we actually notice a little bit slow on the response? We'll see if this Reaver can get a good shot off, but good pull from Bonith. Don't think he's gonna take any probe losses there. He is not. Got a little volley on the shuttle as well, so nice pick from, or like catch there from Bonith to not take any damage.
For sure. Still, nice harass as well with, you know, low risk there for QiaoGege. Did force a probe pull. Every little bit, you know, helps, especially in such a close PvP like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those moves where as long as you're paying attention, you're smart about it, it can be either game ending or, you know, just putting pressure on them in some way, as long as you don't overcommit and lose those Reavers, and it's not necessarily a bad thing to do. And he kind of did it in a position where he was safe to do so. He had his goons on the high ground there, so he didn't have to worry about getting cut off. And Shuttle taking another shot there. It's a little bit soft from taking an earlier volley, and Bonith getting to an extremely aggressive position with all of ZZZero's army here on the left again.
Yeah, here we go. Another big engagement. QiaoGege forced to kind of engage piecemeal. Most of his force wasn't really there. Still, though, Bonith losing a Reaver. This was a huge committal from Bonith. It doesn't look like it paid off.
Yeah, not at all. QiaoGege got a great surround, right? He was fully surrounding him with goons and even reinforcements from the natural, so Bonith's going to be kind of pinned into the corner here, going to try and trade as best as he can.
Yeah, gets a couple nice Scarab volleys off. Will pick up the Reaver. Actually, he's just going to commit it at this point. Ooh, 2 more Dragoons go down right before the Reaver falls, but yeah, it seems like it's going to be a lead here for the Chinese player now.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely taking a little bit of a supply lead, and it just feels like he's been trading better and better overall, kind of throughout this game. I mean, Bonith has definitely had his key moments. We are back here with 2 Reavers again, though, so Bonith making sure not to skip a beat with his Reaver production. Are we on? I was going to say we must be on 2 Robo.
Yeah, that is, you know, so many Reavers here continually for Bonith.
There's no shuttle here for
QiaoGege without a shuttle. Yeah. Wow, nice pickup by Bonith. Still, though, huge Scarab from QiaoGege.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't think this is good enough for Bonith. He's going to try and trade as best he can again with the targeting here, but that Scarab got stuck for so long that he couldn't get that second shot off, so a little bit unfortunate, but yeah, we're seeing him take bigger and bigger leads. Bonith's just being extremely aggressive, trying to kind of press his Reaver advantage, but QiaoGege has done a great job of just having his Dragoons spread out and constantly flanking this entire game.
Yeah, it seems like the bulk of his force has really just been living out on the map, and Bonith's been happy to engage the natural, but it's starting to really not work out for him.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Here we go, another big engagement. Again, Bonith just meeting at the high ground with his force here. Shuttle falls, 1 Reaver falls, and he's trying to go for, you know, some bigger Scarabs. Nice pickup there with that final Scarab, but there's still Dragoon advantage to QiaoGege.
Yeah, Bonith has been like really aggressive this game, just kind of constantly fighting into bad positions. And I mentioned it before, and I'll say it again. QiaoGege has been consistently winning the positional wars against Bonith here, fighting around these ramps. It just seems like he's almost always fighting from an advantageous position. He's got high grounds, he's got big surrounds and stuff. So even though Bonith may have superior micro, it seems like the army maneuver from QiaoGege has just been stronger overall.
Yeah, absolutely. He's also got a third now. This is really going to put Bonith on a timer. He's either going to, you know, suicide a shuttle Reaver to try to stop all this mining at this third base, or I don't even know. He's definitely got to come up with some kind of a plan.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem like anything's a good play at this point, right? It seems so hard to get across the map and do damage. He could try, like you said, for this kind of suicide with the Reavers, but if he does that, he has so little back at home that he could easily just die to a counterattack as well.
True. Doesn't also seem to have the resources to try to take a third of his own.
Yeah.
At the moment. Oh, this is a nice way to get back into it, though. Oh, it barely lives with 4 HP.
Unfortunate. Picking that off could have been a huge moment, because we would have had, I think, 0 Reaver for QiaoGege if that had happened. Man, so close to maybe having a crazy comeback there, but not quite getting the pick off. And like you said, Bonith definitely on a massive timer. We were barely mining at this point. We don't have a third base while our opponent does. And he's going to have to try to work some magic with this kind of meager army here.
He really does, but I mean, that's what Bonith does, man. He works the magic. He gets in these, you know, disadvantageous situations and still finds a way to come out on top. Here we go. Big engagement again, but QiaoGege all over it. Very safe unload on top of his own army. And again, the fight goes QiaoGege's way.
Yeah, he's just constantly catching Bonith's armies and angles that he wants, right? We had another little semi-surround, right, where you see him doing it constantly, splitting his goons up in ways where he's just always going to have a good arc or these kind of half flanks, right? And it's just creating these situations where it's so hard for Bonith to get the big shots that he wants and protect his Reavers at the same time.
Ooh, targets down the shuttle first. Still massive Scarabs there from Bonith, but it's just not enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, QiaoGege are going to win this fight, going to push this back. and it feels like we're just moments away from Bonus GGing. I don't know if he's fully aware of 12 o'clock, but he can kind of assume at this point, if he hasn't spotted it, that it is up and running. I guess he's
think he
going to
said
try to
it's-
play it out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. But he
Yeah,
knows he's
he
in
does
like a
know.
really bad position. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do, right? He was so committed there, even trying to take your own third at this point seems futile. Again, he just races across the map. But yeah, this army is going to get met here. You know, does have 2 more Reavers, but it just
I know
doesn't work.
Bonith works some magic, but this needs to be a miracle, not magic, right? We got 4 goons and 2 Reaver versus like 30 goons and 2 Reaver.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, QiaoGege has scouted everything. He knows Bonith doesn't have a third base. He knows the longer this game goes, the more resources he has, right? The more units he has. He is only building an advantage. He doesn't really, truly need to end it. So he's kind of just letting Bonith starve himself out here.
Yeah, and Bonith knows he's got to get something done. He's just being very aggressive with his army, but another great surround from QiaoGege. Gonna clean this up, and GG gonna be called and tie this series up 1-1.
Wow, that was a big shocker, you know, after game 1. Sure, game 1 was very, very close, and then until it wasn't, right? And Bonith, you know, had a pretty typical convincing Bonith win, but after game 2, it's clear, you know, QiaoGege has, you know, a great opportunity here to even take the series against Bonith.
Yeah, it's nice to see him kind of go back to the build and kind of show us that, you know, hey, it was a little bit of a fluke. I can do much better than what I showed you guys in that first game, and he did show us in that second game. His army movement, his map awareness, very, very strong. And yeah, like I said, his positioning, I feel like he positionally outplayed Bonith that entire game.
Yeah, you know, it was Polestar, kind of a unique map too, you know, being able to take advantage of those, you know, high ground areas. So we'll have to see what map 3 ends up being and how that kind of plays into it, but still very, very strong play from the Chinese player there. But yeah, with that, folks, I believe both our players are ready to go. So let's go down to the final game of Bonith versus QiaoGege. Righty, spawning at the top right side as the orange Protoss from Poland, it's Bonith.
His opponent tying up the series here on Eclipse, we have QiaoGege. And if you want weird shenanigans, this would have been the map for it, but no crazy early probe, so looks like we're not going to get it. You know, I always want to see the high-level players deal with it, because, you know, here, like, high B, low A, we always see it with Protoss building, like, pylons in our base and gateways in our base and, like, all this nonsense. And there's obviously a reason you don't see it at high level. It's clearly bad, but I need to see the correct response to deal with it, because I don't know what it is yet.
It's just, like, perfect probe control is really, like, the high... From what I've been able to deduce, right? Like...
Yeah.
You know, this is Broodwar, right? Like, you really got to babysit units in general. And then there's controlling probes and drones and, like, SCVs. That's a whole other skill set entirely. Because, yeah, I mean, you know Raz, but Raz loves the proxy one-gate stuff on a map like Eclipse. He will do it in a best of 3 against somebody.
Yeah.
And it's funny how silly it makes some players look, and then how, you know, sometimes it just feels weak for, like, no reason. Some players are just so good at handling it. Wow, that's a 2-gate, by the way, from QiaoGege.
From Bonith, actually. We're going to get that 10-12
Oh, that's
from
Bonith.
Bonith.
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's, wow. Huh. That's surprising to me. I haven't seen him 2-gate in quite some time, PvP.
Oh, he did it a couple times against Dewalt in their first series in BSL. He's actually the one that I learned at doing this build from, so it's nice to see him whip it out every now and then. To me, like, the way I feel about it, to me this is the Bonith 2-gate, right? That's what I've always called it, because that's where I learned it from. But yeah, he has some pretty nice optimizations I've seen him do when I've watched him play, where, like, if he's against someone else that made like 3 zealots or something, he has the probe inside, he'll do like a probe drill and bring an extra zealot or 2. I've seen him say things like, I guess we'll just RNG it and just, like, drill a probe through and see what happens, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's always fun to see him do this build for me, because I think the follow-up is extremely important. Typically, the build, and we're going to see it here, it's 10-12, you go into 3 Zealots, you go 22 gas, 23 core, and then you just go goons behind this, right? So you're looking for, the kind of damage that you're looking for is Bonith. You want to kill, like, 1 Zealot, 1 Probe, and you're actually ahead here. Because one of the things that makes this build so strong is that it doesn't cut any probes. So if you're doing any damage, then you're typically just ahead. But losing that probe early, pretty painful and not really necessary. And yeah, we're even getting a shield battery from QiaoGege, and you actually want to see shield batteries when you're doing this. You're happy with them
like
building that shield battery.
I see. I mean, that makes sense. But maybe he just doesn't want to lose a single probe. He's worth, you know, might be worth the trade to him or something. Either way, though, QiaoGege controlling this really well. We're getting to the ramp already. Oh, he let the Zealot in. That felt like a mistake a little bit from QiaoGege. Bonith all over this Zealot Dragoon with the three of his own Zealots. And here we go. Looks like he might be trying to get into the mineral line here. Nice focus firing.
Getting to heal the Zealot with the shield that are actually going really well for QiaoGege. And you see how desperately he wanted to kill that Zealot. Gonna kill 1 probe, get 1 Zealot really weak. Not gonna get this. Oh, actually is gonna get a 2nd probe. So as Bonith, and you see it here in the workers, right? We're up 3 workers right now. You're pretty happy because you're up 3 to 4 workers. And he built this shield battery, so there's no second gateway or anything like crazy tech-wise. He did only see 2 pylons, though, which is actually kind of unique. Typically, you're looking for a 3rd pylon, but there was no 3rd pylon for QiaoGege here. He just kind of sat there supply blocked for a while.
Oh, and we know it's a Nexus. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean,
this can be...
Or had the faster core. I was going to say, he had the faster core. Range is almost done, so I guess, yeah, there's not really a ton Bonith can do to kind of pressure this. I kind of like this Nexus here.
Yeah, this is a pretty common response you see sometimes to this, and it kind of makes sense because you typically see like a defensive posture from the 2-gater after this because they don't have range nearly as fast as the other Protoss players, so they're trying to be defensive and wait for their own range, so they kind of sit up on the top of their ramp. The next push out you're going to see from Bonith is going to be with 6 goons and range. And this is just kind of a test to see, like, hey, are you being really greedy? Are you going for some sort of, like, tech? Are you cutting some stuff? And so this will be specifically to test for a Nexus like this. So he may be able to get some damage, but we did go 3-gate behind this. QiaoGege actually cutting a lot of probes to try and make sure he can get this Nexus up without dying.
Kind of smart. I guess that's going to trade off, you know, with the faster Nexus timing. There is a lot of travel time, I feel like, on Eclipse, so seems like the pretty optimal build for the situation.
Yeah, it's a little bit longer than, you know, close bombs in pretty much any other map, right? So there is a little bit of a defender's advantage here for Eclipse, but you see this, we got the 6 goons coming across, and we just got these extra goons coming out for QiaoGege, but he is down 1 goon, so with good micro right now, Bonith can find some damage here, especially with that soft Ellie. Yeah, just instantly does.
Did pick off 1 Dragoon, though, so good focusing so far. Might have to pull some probes, though, but at least there is a rallying Dragoon coming in from the main here for QiaoGege. Still, though, Bonith doing a great job with this trade.
Yeah, he's going to trade pretty favorably overall. It actually feels pretty bad, though, as Bonith. You wanted to get at least a little bit of probe damage here, so just trading goons for goons doesn't feel good when you see that he's already mining on this natural. Yes, we're up 5 or 6 workers right now, but it's kind of hard to expand from here because you don't know exactly how much they've cut. And I think if he expands from here, he just wouldn't be able to keep up with the production from QiaoGege. So we actually see the Robo coming down. We might just be going into Reaver. Or sorry, it was the support bay came down, right?
Yes, it was the support bay.
Yeah, so he's probably going to go for a Reaver push behind us. Trying to trade off as many goons as he can. Killing off as many of his goons as he can before he gets his own Reavers out here. It just doesn't want QiaoGege to get to this kind of overwhelming count so that he can get swallowed up whenever he comes. Yeah, we're going up to 5 gates, so this is going to be Mass Dragoon only from QiaoGege. And yeah, it's going to be just a full-on, all-in bust attempt from Bonith here.
Kind of feels like QiaoGege's build is, you know, meant to beat this, right? Like, he's taking a big risk with no Robo, no Observer. I'm just saying, hey, Bonith, you're just going Reaver and Dragoon, right? Still, though, Bonith, man, he is... I mean, you were talking about getting trades for probes. The first probe does fall at the natural there for QiaoGege, so it's not like he's taking 0 damage.
Yeah. Yeah, Bonith being really aggressive, and he's actually trading really well. I like what he's doing here, and I think I understand the thought process. He knows that QiaoGege is going to have more production than him, but right now he has a slight goon advantage, and he's just trading as efficiently as he can to keep himself from getting overwhelmed for this push that's coming. He's going to wait for the second Reaver, and then it's going to be all in from there.
It seems like you know, the production from QiaoGege has kind of kicked in. I don't know if there's going to be another window for Bonith until the Reavers, you know, arrive at QiaoGege's base.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think pushing in right now would be dangerous. It seems like he knows that he knows he's kind of pushed it to the limits here. And we're going to see the goons moving out on the map now for QiaoGege. Going to test the high ground. And there's not enough goons here to push him back. So this is actually a really good move out from QiaoGege to be catching him out here before Bonith is ready to stage his attack.
Yeah, he might end up picking off a Dragoon of his own here. There we go. One does fall for Bonith there. At least he's posturing. Again, like both these players just being so aggressive, pushing every single advantage that they have at all points.
Yeah, I think this was a really crucial move out for QiaoGege. I think if he doesn't do this and he lets Bonith set up in front of his natural with those two Reavers, then he's just going to get picked apart. So at least coming out here allows him to fight it a few times, maybe get some damage on top of the shell if he's paying attention, but he immediately pulls back when he sees his army coming in. He's going to probably go north, I'd imagine, and try to turn this into a flank with all of his production.
Yeah, he's been doing that, you know, the previous games today too. So yeah, he's kind of just buying time, luring Bonith around the map. Bonith seems happy to chase this for now. But there we go. There isn't even a cannon to greet Bonith's forces here at the natural. Reavers gonna go ahead and make short work of that. But here we go, big flank. Looks like QiaoGege maybe not quite ready to flank yet. Gonna wait for a few more Dragoons if he can. Ooh, does pick off a nice Dragoon rally though. From Bonith. Here we go. Oh my god, so many probes fall too. One scare there.
Actually, from here, so Bonith he just killed all these probes. He's going to kill his Nexus. He actually can drop his own Nexus here. He does have to worry about his counterattack, so he actually can't drop it yet. This is really smart from QiaoGege to be doing this. It cuts off the reinforcements, as well as puts pressure on Bonith. So it's not going to allow Bonith to expand just yet like he wants to. But from here, Bonith can probably just hold the low ground with these Reavers and try to expand it. I think that's what we're going to see. Okay, I'm wrong. We're going to try to push up.
Yeah, it looks like Bonith trying to get a little aggro. Get some massive scarabs there. Wow, very well done from Bonith.
Yeah, a little eager there to try and finish it. There's so many goons out for QiaoGege. He brings us back. I thought maybe he was going to go to crush this now, but looks like he's going back towards the natural or just trying to hold the high ground. He might set up for this flank later.
I think he's going to have to. How do you break that ramp against double Reaver there? I mean,
oh, DT. Like we have no observer.
Oh, okay. That's one way to do it.
Wait, we don't have an observatory. This could actually... Okay, now we're starting it. But Bonith is going to lose position here when these Reaver or these DT come out. And he's going to have to worry about these other goons on the map, too, potentially catching the retreat. So this all might just be forfeit here. If this all dies, then Bonith is dead.
He'll likely be able to retreat here. Actually, yeah, he's not even gonna trigger it. He's not even gonna show it. So Bonith really gonna have to be on his toes here and make this observer immediately, or he could be dead.
He went shuttle.
With the shuttle! Oh no, get greedy. Wow, is he dead? Oh my
he might be dead. By the time an observer gets out with 2 DTs here, right, he's gonna take so much damage. This is not good for Bonith.
I think he's dead, man. That's
and I think these other DTs will come down the ramp right when they show themselves. He wanted to wait until these are doing damage, and yeah, we're immediately going to jump on top of these Reavers. I'm sure we're going to cancel the shuttle and start an observer as soon as possible. We're going to try to plug the ramp. Even shoots his own Reaver, actually, to try and kill one of the DT. Got very close to doing it. And yeah, there we go. We canceled the shuttle, started the observer immediately, and yeah, here comes the next DT, going to target down some more. Oh, nice, though, from Bonith paying attention.
Oh my god, who does that? Oh,
who
man,
does that?
Incredible. Well, still, these DTs are cleaving that mineral line here. Bonith, the first observer, almost out, but this has just been massive damage here.
But now we're to the point where the goon, we don't even have enough army here to fight it, right? The DTs can win this fight, so we're trying to micro against the DT while the DTs are killing a bunch of our probes. We're going to go down to even probes. We're at least going to have that Nexus, so I don't know that Bonith will make more probes. I suspect he will try to kind of be minimal about replacing and just focus more on controlling this low ground because he knows eventually his opponent starves out.
I still can't believe this. Somehow, despite the DTs, look at this position. Bonith has a natural nexus somehow. I mean, he's still holding that ramp. But actually, here we go. Speed Zealots moving out now from the main here from QiaoGege, trying to get on top of this shuttle. Bonith still, though, trading very well with the forces he has at QiaoGege's natural. But, I mean, it's just an overwhelming force here for QiaoGege.
Yeah, this is a lot of army, and killing those 2 Reavers early with the DT is pretty crucial. But, oh, these were reinforcing goons from behind here from Bonith, so kind of maximizing the trade as best as he can. And QiaoGege definitely on a bit of a timer now. I'm not sure that he can comfortably expand from here. His main's got to be getting just about dried up at this point.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's just going to be Dragoon tech, right? It's not like the DT tech's really going to end up working again here. Bonith with this natural really has put QiaoGege on a timer. We'll see if he can hold.
Yeah, he is going to try and drop this Nexus while going for this pressure, but this is such a strong defensive position from Bonith. I don't think QiaoGege is going to be able to block this, especially with this kind of matter pylon here, right? And even building a little bit more to make it even harder for him to get in here. So, yeah, he's just going to maybe try to hold outside here, but there is a big eco advantage for Bonith for the next couple minutes here.
And, you know, there's not really any harass potential out of QiaoGege because he doesn't have that robo. Just now is starting his first robo. Whereas Bonith could get a little creative here with a shuttle reaver and go for those counter timings and maybe try to pick off some probes, delay a natural, something along those lines.
Yeah, gonna go into the storm. I think this is the best thing that he could go for at this stage of the game. There's no point trying to match him with Reaver or anything anymore. You already have the Templar tech, so I think going into storm is a really, really good call. This is a potential comeback tech here from QiaoGege.
Yeah, storm drop works in every matchup. So it's just so scary, right? You could just clear a probe line in an instant, which is very nice.
Yeah, for sure. It's also very good for like optimizing like spending your resources, right? Because going Zealot Storm is like really cheap and really efficient. The kind of army that you get out of it, and even building some Archons if you end up with a bunch of extra gas, right? So
for sure.
This is a little bit scary, actually, still for Bonith. I kind of thought he was going to be in a much better position, but honestly, when the dust settles, they're pretty much even with, I would feel, a slight tech advantage for QiaoGege on a straight-up fight.
Yeah, Templar Storm tech is great PvP. You can storm the Reavers, right? Like, it's pretty strong way to play. Here we go, though. Bonith looking to engage.
I'm going to start off with a couple good Reaver shots, but yeah, this is what makes the Storm so good. It gets damage on the Reaver and the shuttle as well. It forces the shuttle to kind of fly in to pick it up and take some damage, so it kind of softens them up a little bit. We still have 3 more Storms minimum behind this as well. But maybe going to pick off some of these Templar if we're not paying attention.
Oh!
Wow, nice.
The huge Scarabs there, very nice.
2 Templar and a Goon going down. I'm going to walk forward for this Templar and get that Storm off. Wow, really quick pickup from Bonith too to really take minimal damage there. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Storm is not the counter to Reaver tech. And yeah, great fighting from Bonith. Yeah, exactly.
Shuttle does fall, but I mean, not before so much damage has already been dealt from these Reavers. And yeah, this looks like Bonith now with the overwhelming force here.
Yeah, pretty good, like, dying breath storm there from that Templar, but not going to be enough. Bonith going to take this series 2-1 in a pretty crazy game on Eclipse. He kind of likes these final game Eclipse kind of crazy ones, huh?
Scenarios, yeah, he always does. He's the entertainer, man. He's just doing it for everyone tuning in. But no, still, QiaoGege had a great showing as well, right? I mean, against probably the best of the best PvP foreigner of all time, so... Game 2 was quite a convincing win, so definitely someone that a lot of folks are still gonna have to look out for in these series today.
Yeah, absolutely. He showed us some of what he's got. He looked very strong in this series, like you said, especially in Game 2, playing super strong. It looks like our next series is going to be Dewalt versus Fengzi. I don't know much about this one either, so I wouldn't mind being taught a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you and me both, man. Dewalt, obviously, one of the greats to ever play PvZ in the scene at the moment. Not a whole lot of people on that caliber, but Fengzi, old school Chinese Chinese Zerg that I've been watching since the old WCG days. Man, Fengzi's really been a top level Chinese Zerg for the beginning of time, honestly. It feels like. So this should be pretty exciting.
All right, guys, I'm going to step out momentarily. I'm going to get replaced by Mazer for this next cast, and I'll be back for the next game.
Sounds good, Ozzy.
Hi, guys.
Hello, Mazer.
Hi, everyone.
How's it going?
Pretty nice, pretty nice. Really entertaining game. Best of 3, amazing PvP from both sides.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not very often you see someone take a game off Bonith, right? So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Especially in PvP. Especially in PvP. Oh.
Absolutely. Well, Mazer, what do you think of this match we got coming up, Dewalt and Fengzi?
Oh, that will be a really interesting game. Like you said, Fangzi is an old school player. I also watched him back in the days, so really looking forward to see him play. And we and the audience know that Dewalt is a beast, so should be pretty interesting. If I would have to bet, I would bet my money on Dewalt, taking into consideration the amount of games he's playing. He's very, very active, right? And his PvZ is really good. But this is PvZ, ZVP, so everything can happen.
Yeah, of course, anything can happen, and Fengzi is definitely a player who, although having been able to play or having played for a long time, still has a lot of tricks, right? He's very good with his 2-hatch play. ZVP, he's very good with a lot of speedling run bys. So definitely going to be a challenge here for Dewalt. But yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I think Dewalt probably going to be the favorite going into this match here. Yeah. Well, I believe both of our players are ready to go, folks. So let's go ahead and jump into game number 1, Dewalt versus. Oh, sorry. We need 10 seconds, guys. My bad. I got anxious. I want to see the match, man.
Same here. I was like, yeah, let's start.
Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good,
But
though.
if the boss says wait, we need to wait.
Yeah, man. He's the boss. Shoot. Well, we'll see how this one goes. Dewalt plays a pretty standard PvZ, obviously, so I would expect to see just standard gate expand or forge expand into, Corsairs, get the scout off. Yeah.
Yeah, I fully agree. Often people ask me about Dewalt versus Bonith because it's like, the top 2 foreign Protoss players. But even though I love both of those players, they have totally different playstyle, right?
Absolutely.
Bonith is the technical guy whose micro is amazing, and Bonith is Dewalt is a solid macro type player with a beast of an understanding of the game. So I love watching both of them because you can have the feeling of both things, right? The beauty of micro and the solid game style of a macro player.
Absolutely. It's funny how, like you're saying, they can be the same race but play so differently. Like that's just the miracle of StarCraft. Anyways, folks, looks like both our players are finally ready to go here. Game 1 going to be on Radeon, so let's jump into Dewalt versus Fengzi. Ready, spawning bottom right side of Radeon as the blue Protoss. It is Dewalt.
And we've got Fengzi on the top left side of the map as the red Zerg. The colors are better than the last matchup, right? It was a little bit difficult, so now we have the blue and red.
Yeah, I definitely confused Bonith and QiaoGege's starting locations at the start of that last game for sure. So I feel you. Oh man.
Yeah.
Old
Yeah,
Chowo
I think-
Zerg. I like that name.
Oh.
That's funny.
Yeah. We were saying he's an old school player, right? And no, majority of us that are playing are old school players because we started back in the days. But he was really, really on the top back in the days. So that's the difference, right, between us and him.
Yes. Yeah, no, definitely. He's been at the top the entire time. In the foreign scene for sure. Fengzi, I mean, in the WCG days, if you were in a bracket and you ended up being unfortunate enough to match up against Fengzi, you knew it was a fight. So, yeah, definitely one of those players who's been playing for a couple decades and still playing at the highest of caliber. It's kind of incredible.
Amazing sounds couple decades, right? You're playing a game couple decades. That's dedication.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's I mean, how many folks in other scenes are still playing their game 20 years later? Not many.
Yeah. Okay, we've got a Nexus first against what, an Overpool or
Yeah, I think it's an overpool. It's gonna be close, but I think basically Dewalt will just barely hold.
yeah. First of all, the Walt was yet not scouted. Second of all, this is cross positions, what favors a little bit the opening that they will choose. So I think he will be okay.
Yeah, he should be fine. Making a little bit of damage here on one of the drones inside the main. Just being
I would say it was more than a little. It was like 10 HP. Look at it. Yeah,
Ooh,
he might be able to kill it.
he might. He's looking for it for sure. Makes the extractor. Wise decision.
The balls on the guy, right? There are links, but I don't care about links. I'll just harass him a little bit more.
Yep. No, he's not afraid at all. I mean, his probe control is just next level. All right, looks like Fengzi unfortunately gonna scout the cannon, completing just in time here, but at least he knows where Dewalt's natural is now.
The opening, like this, the longer the game will go, it will be better for Dewalt because because it's a form of an economic cheese, right? Like CC first or 12 next versus versus in PvT, right? So it's very, very difficult to catch up as a Zerg player.
Yeah, it's really difficult to to catch up, especially from a position like this. A lot of times Zergs will go for Zergling speed there and maybe just try to hope Dewalt doesn't wall properly, but it's Dewalt, so Fengzi has a very uphill battle to fight from here on out.
Yeah, so now the question is, I think that like we've seen the layer, so probably it will be a standard game, but the question is, will this be only aspired play to defend against the Courser and a follow-up with Hydros, or like Ogre Zerg type game?
Yeah, that is kind of the question. It's really going to be, we're not really going to be able to tell until it gets a little further in, I think.
Yeah.
But looks like Fengzi is making some more Zerglings, just wants to secure map control. But I think the layer timing was fine. He should be able to get a Spire out in time before losing, and Scourge, obviously, before losing too many Overlords here. So good timing so far from Fengzi.
And usually a Protoss player is able to kill one. Right, that's the standard, one Overlord. So that's if Fengzi will be able to defend against it, it will be amazing. And just now, 5 minutes in, he lost his initial probe. That tells you something about probe management.
Yeah, he has such hyper great control with his probes, being able to, even allow them to survive that entire time. First Corsair is out and underway though for Dewalt, and like you said, if killing one Overlord's fine, anymore, as soon as it starts getting more and more than that, it's going to be quite difficult here. But look at the speed at which Dewalt has this first Corsair. you know, Spire is not done yet. He's already got a Templar Archives underway. Gotta say, the Drone Cat's looking pretty good, though, still, for Fengzi. 28 to the 38 of Dewalt.
I like how Fengzi hit his Overlord. Look, every Overlord is on the top of the map, on the side of the map, hiding somewhere, not to lose it to the initial Corsair.
Yeah, he really has done a great job, not just like getting lazy and, you know, leaving one at the natural or something like this. And you see it in Dewalt. He's kind of peeking around, does see the first initial Scourge, but wisely decides to back up and start building up that Corsair count.
But we saw there some mutas being made, so now probably, now the question is, and there is the second gas, so the question is, will he decide to go fully for muta, or this is just, you know, 4 or 5 to snipe a little bit and make the Protoss stay in his base?
Mazdar, what's your preference on that? Do you prefer to kind of go mass, muta into like Ogre Zerg style, or just the 5 muta into Hydra?
If I'm playing as the Protoss against it, I would prefer to play against this small number of mutas and Hydras. I don't like mutas. Mutas are crazy.
Yeah. They are crazy.
and especially the. Oh my God! He lost his his initial Corsair, so that's a huge deal. Even now he needs to compensate. Even though he has the +1, he needs more to kill the Scourge.
Yeah, he's gonna need more Corsair, which just delays the timing even further. Still, first DT walking in here wisely walks away.
Yeah.
I think before.
I love the DT play.
Prepared.
I love the DT play because as a Protoss, when you're running out with the Zealots, you're not able to scout because of the mutas, but Dark Templar goes next to each and every unit and checks out what's happening. So now he knows, okay, I don't need too many Corsairs, it's not Ogre Zerg, I need a Storm, or more Zealots, or Gateways.
Absolutely. So yeah, like you said, we already see the adjustment. He's starting to make more and more Templar here. This is actually going to be very good for Dewalt here. Waiting for one more Corsair, and it looks like he's going to start sharking out on the map again.
And it's a 6-hatch from Fengzi, so we'll see a swarm of Hydras in a moment.
They are cross maps, so there's quite a bit of travel distance, on this map for ZVP. So both players gonna have to be wary that they maybe don't want to move out too far until they're very prepared for timing.
Yeah, and it's a shame that Dewalt didn't scout the additional 6th hatchery, because now he needs to be very careful, because if you will decide to take another base, it can backfire instantly. Fengzi is doing a really good job with denying anything with that Dark Templar.
It's just been really good positioning, right? He's got his overlords kind of spread out right outside the natural, right outside the third. He's really making sure he's got all of his bases covered, literally. So well done there. Dewalt, though, continues to stack up more and more Templar here, and has a robotics facility underway. Maybe looking to get some observer tech.
But economically wise, both players have 48 workers. That's amazing. Especially, that's good for Protoss, but amazing for a Zerg player. And next will be denied. Nice job by Fengzi.
And again, like you say, it's not like he dedicated a lot of resources to these muta. This is very minimal amounts of muta, and gets away with all the muta. That was an impressive split there from Fengzi.
That was really, really nice.
Wow,
nice
he
job.
just styled on Dewalt. That was crazy.
And still didn't kill it. Okay, maybe not.
Alright, gets one more. Still, though, I think Fengzi's happy to have this trade. Yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah, things looking a little dicey here for Dewalt. Templar haven't joined the force yet. They're still back at the natural, and Fengzi very confidently starting to morph some lurkers in the face of Dewalt.
Both players are in the same time expanding, so we have standard. This looks like something that will go to a longer period of time and late game probably.
Yeah, you're right. It seems like both players are definitely stabilizing. Dewalt has that third underway, but Fengzi has a fourth of his own at the 12 o'clock base location. So yeah, this is looking to be a good match here so far. Oh, and the resupply of Buda here.
Oh,
There's only one
that's
couple
like
there.
only two. That's why you always need to save your coursers, because Zergs are always or rather often doing the Muta switch, and this can design the game.
Yeah, it really can. I mean, I feel like there's almost nothing to stop this if Fengzi just runs in right now. Here we go.
Look at the minimap.
Are going to get scouted.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
Oh, here we go. Dive straight in. Just targeting down each and every single one of these Templar here. Still big storms. It's, you know, it's not like you traded those for nothing. Just a couple high Templars left.
Nice save. Okay.
Yeah,
and the
Dewalt did that
backstab.
really well.
Oh. Will he manage to snipe the hatchery?
He might. Good drone drilling though from Fengzi, so at least he's still going to end up taking damage on the worker count here, but it looks like he just barely might be able to save this hatchery.
Oh, that was
though.
close.
Huh, I wonder if he's going to morph that into a layer just to get some more health on it. Well, yeah.
Go on, sorry.
I was going to say, it looks like, quite a sizable Hydra force here still from Fengzi. He's going to need to start producing some lurkers and look to take a fifth base here pretty soon, though. There we go. There's the lurker morph outside the natural. Still no hive underway.
The upgrades look quite nice. Zerg has +2 on his Hydras, whereas Dewalt has 1/1 upgrades, but continuing upgrading his army in 2 forgers. Oh, 1-2, perfect timing.
Oh wow, yeah, it looks like Dewalt wants to get on the map and start doing something. Looks like he's at least clearing 6 o'clock to take his own fourth. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Dewalt starts attacking before there's potential for Dark Swarm or anything.
Yeah, probably he will try to do some skirmishes just to land some nice storms. I don't know, I see a very big order of new drones just to saturate probably the 12 o'clock.
Yeah, I think you're right. That was a lot of drones. We're even seeing a worker lead now for Fengzi. Always a good position to be in as Zerg. They'll need a lot of units now, though. It's pretty clear Dewalt's getting comfortable moving across the map. Maybe just trying to shut down any potential counters, for his new base. And then as soon as 6 o'clock feels safe, he'll likely move in to engage.
And we see the hive.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, there is a hive. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty key. Adrenal glands on those Zerglings, as well as the +3 upgrades. Defilers with Lurker Ling should allow Fengzi to start really pressuring the 4th base, the 3rd base of Dewalt.
This is the current playstyle of Zerg, right? In late game. Oh, but he found an opening. Dewalt found an opening. Now the decider will be if he manage to move his High Templar in proper position.
Yeah, because so far, Fengzi's actually just cleaning these up. Those Zerglings popped out at just the perfect time here. Dewalt even storming his own observer. Still, though, the Templars did finally manage to make their way to the front here. And Fengzi's going to need to bring more and more units to try and defend his own third base.
I like to say that in the key to PvZ is making their fight in an uncomfortable position. This is a very uncomfortable position.
Massive storm there. Yeah, anytime you're walking in with lurkers, it's never a good position to be in for Zerg, but eventually looks like Fengzi is going to get the lurkers he needs in position to try to defend this. But man, the storms have just been on point here for Dewalt.
And the fact that, as you said, that he had to move his lurkers, I mean Fengzi, it's the crucial thing here, right? Because it's very difficult to attack with lurkers against Protoss. But
Yes.
the swarm of Hydras appears to be too much.
Yeah, really, I'm surprised. It seems like Fengzi, despite the not the best start, is at least able to secure this base.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Fengzi took 2 additional bases, or rather took 1 and is taking 1 more.
Ooh. Dewalt sees it though. It looks like Dewalt's going to be moving towards this top right base location. Oh, massive lurker spines though on these zealots. That was very well done there from Fengzi. And here comes the flanking Hydra force. The storms are just massive though. Oh no. I don't know if Fengzi's going to be able to save these 2 top right bases.
Yeah, this will be very difficult to save it. There are no defenses there.
Yeah, nothing there at all. It's not even like a lurker on the ramp. Again, just forced to walk with unburrowed lurkers, into such a massive force from Dewalt. But it looks like he's gonna shut the ramp off. Oh man, Fengzi actually just turned this into a pretty good situation here. This is the bulk of Dewalt's force, and it's forced to fight these lurkers with just Zealot Dragoon here. Oh, Observer goes down too, so you won't be able to see these lurkers anymore. I gotta say, this is looking a lot better for Fengzi than I originally thought.
Yeah, I thought that he will lose the top right base also, but Fengzi managed to defend it. And we see a robo facility. So we'll see reverse or speed shuttles in this game.
Reavers are great just to being able to even just secure, your 4th and your 5th base, but Storm Drop can wreak havoc on Zerg economy. Okay, here we go.
Oh, and we see the Defiler.
Yeah, the Defilers are out here from Fengzi, so that's going to be Plague, that's going to be Dark Swarm for Lurker Zergling. We'll see how Dewalt handles this. Oh, a couple Zealots getting in that mineral line. That is not going to be good here for Fengzi.
Oh, and we see the Swarm. The Cheeto Dust, right?
Yeah, the good old Cheeto Dust. It makes all of these Dragoons worthless for the moment, which is always nice. Oh, huge storms, though, from Dewalt, just completely crushing this counter timing. Oh man, Fengzi taking some big damage. That was a lot of drone losses at this 3rd base. He's continuing to just kind of shuffle units in piecemeal, one at a time, but still though, lurkers under the Dark Swarm might be the key he needs to just kind of continue holding this base.
Oh, and the denial of the upgrade, the I think +3, +2 armor is the big thing.
That is a big deal. Oh no. Yeah, he's absolutely going to need +2 armor. Oh, look at the Archon targeting down all of the... Dewalt, you monster.
Oh. Even me as a Protoss player is like, that had hurt.
Yeah, it absolutely hurt. Man, I gotta say, Fengzi is just putting up a fight. It really seemed like Dewalt was on the back foot for the majority of this game, but Dewalt finally really, in a pretty strong position here.
And look at but on the other hand, look at the expansions, right? he retook his initial. Okay, and let's pause that thought. Nice storms, nice backing up, and we have a Dark Templar in the 12 o'clock.
Yeah, he ended up killing that weakened hatchery. There was just nothing there to see it, unfortunately. So again, Fengzi gonna be forced to move those drones to the top right, and there's not a ton of units top right to defend it.
And I like how Fengzi is expanding, and like you can see that this is the old style, right? Of having everywhere expansions, because he has the top right side of the map, and he took the third expansion from the bottom left side of the map, right? It's a lot, and Dewalt doesn't know about it.
Yeah, he doesn't know about bottom left at all. I mean, that can allow Fengzi to come back into this. Ooh, nice plague. Oh man, he really caught this force out of Dewalt here. This went very well for Fengzi. Uh-oh. Looks like a High Templar Storm looking for the third base. There's not that many drones at it, though, from Fengzi here. So getting a little lucky with that, I'd say. Still, some nice drone kill pickups there for Dewalt. Dewalt running into a lot of
oh my God.
lurkers top right.
Yeah. But look at the expression. The fact that he lost the 12 o'clock, the third base lost the 12 o'clock. The left, the third base on the left is also mined out or not even gathering. So basically, it breaks down Fengzi to 3 active expansions, whereas Dewalt has also 3.
Oh, true. Yeah. Dewalt is able to mine more because of that. I mean, we see it in the supply, too. Dewalt definitely has a sizable supply lead. Look at this harass, man. He's just being really annoying with a single shuttle and 2 Templar.
And an Archon in the main.
Yep.
22 minutes.
Oh, boy. Yeah, Fengzi in a little bit of trouble here. Looks like we'll get a surround on that Archon, end up killing that off. Dewalt has started taking the natural bottom left here. And it looks like Fengzi wants to remove it. We'll see how this goes. That is a lot of lurkers.
And no reverse.
Yeah, that's always a blunder. Reavers are so strong late game PvZ. You gotta use. Oh, big counter though from Dewalt. Still, the Dark Swarm is just in the nick of time here to defend the base.
And the army looks like predominantly is consistent of High Templars. That's never a good situation.
Yeah, I mean, they turn into Archons, though, to be fair. Archons are always a good situation. I mean, Dewalt's just being very efficient with what he's got, and he has higher supply, so it seems like
the harassment is crazy also.
Yeah, it's so painful to play, you know, late game Zerg versus Protoss versus this style of play. Ooh, here we go. Another big Templar storm drop. Kills a few
There are
drones
2 additional army boys in the shuttle.
Only 30 workers left now for Fengzi. It's funny because Fengzi's been doing so well in the fights, but it's just not enough.
Yeah. The one upside for Fengzi is I'm not sure if Dewalt knows about the 8 o'clock base.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, if he doesn't end up finding the 8 o'clock base and it goes, you know, unscouted, he's able to just freely mine it for, you know, another 10 minutes. That would be very difficult for him.
Oh,
He did.
That looked as almost a limit in Zillow.
Yeah, that is so many zealots. Pure zealot